Blessings, everyone. Today's Spirit has been kind of nudging to do an oracle reading that I have not done in a while. And it's interesting because sometimes with these love readings, it kind of feels, like it can be a little heavy. And so the energy has been very intense the last few days, and I knew that this was coming, so I would like to offer, this is the Romance Angel Oracle, and this is a two-part. The Romance Angel Oracle, Spirit gives a message for the twin flame divine union that is based on what is kind of a theme that the divine counterparts are going through at this time. And then the Hidden Truth Oracle is kind of about one of the struggles that may be in communicating something that the twin flames have maybe not said that's going on between both of them, kind of like a core energy. So first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be this medium of light. And I ask the angels, the guides, ascended masters, loved ones, and Starseed family to help with this reading today for the collective of the divine counterparts. Thank you, I'm grateful. First I'm going to shuffle. I don't have a table out here right now, so I'm kind of doing this on the floor. That's why the camera is a little bit off. I do the first enables the energy of Source. The second one, shuffle, enables the energy of Spirit, which is higher self. And then the third enables the energy of the soul. And then what I do is I just kind of move the cards around like this. And a lot of times they'll just fly out, or if it comes up and the nudge to take the card will come through. And so this is kind of what I'm doing, and Spirit will tell me which ones they want me to take for the reading. And so sometimes it's a little patience because it won't come out right away. They're saying grab this one that's come out of the deck. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And right away, what I'm hearing is that one of the themes that are going on right now between the divine counterparts are the red flags. That Spirit has been kind of guiding both counterparts. That there are just certain things that, although they're very close, and being a divine counterpart, it's, they say that they can finish each other's sentences, they have a lot in common, there's so many synchronicities. The red flags are the warnings that the divine counterparts are getting from certain situations that's not serving for the highest good. Not necessarily has to do with relationship things, but just in general. That there's been a lot of guidance, whether it comes to making a decision of maybe a big purchase, like a real estate purchase, or starting a business, or a lot of times there are discussions and fights that are happening between the divine counterparts, that there needs to be in a time and a place, that both of them have to be in that space to discuss these things. And so Spirit is saying, be aware. Be aware of the red flags. Be aware of the trigger points. A lot of times with divine counterparts, we know that they trigger each other. We know that besides the intense, beautiful love that they share and all the beautiful synchronicities, there's a lot in common with the divine counterparts. I mean, we understand what the whole basis of this relationship is. But along with this, there has to be kind of a mutual understanding that we're going to do this. We're gonna trigger each other. We're gonna trigger that shadow work. We're gonna have those things that come out, fears or perhaps past traumas, past life experiences that the twin flames have. And they really need to have this understanding that when the other one is not ready, it's not that they don't want to do the work. And it's not that they don't want to heal any of these core wounds that the divine counterparts bring out in each other when they're mirroring each other. But we have to give them that space. We have to allow them sometimes an event, a discussion, a situation will come up and one of the divine counterparts is not in that space just in that moment. We have to be able to understand this from each other and see the warnings, to understand when there is something going on, maybe just on the outside. Maybe it's they're coming home and there's something going on at work, or there's something going on with other family besides the divine union. And it's a heavy thing going, and it's not necessarily the time to discuss relationship things or traumas. And so we have to remember that Spirit isn't saying the red flag isn't a bad thing, like that we would normally think of. Red flag, oh no, these are the warning signs, although the card says that. Spirit is gearing this more towards, let's give each other that grace. Let's see this. As long as we are connected in that mirroring space, we also have to feel and understand and have that empathy when one of the divine counterparts is not able to process this in that moment. And so the next one that we're going to do is the hidden truth. And this is the theme that's going on between the counterparts. Maybe the emotional energy. There is something sometimes hidden that they go through that it's not that easy to discuss. Maybe it's in a space of the divine counterparts aren't able to be in the physical with each other in that moment, and so there's a little bit of miscommunication sometimes. And so this is something, whoops, they're saying take this one. I replay our conversations over and over. So this is actually a really good message, and this coincides with the first part of this, is that sometimes there is something going on and there's a trigger going on between the divine counterparts, and there's things that need to be worked on. One is triggering the other, and the red flag is it's not the time. But just know that a divine counterpart, a divine union, will have both of these beautiful souls always going over and understanding, not so much replaying a conversation over and over again like the card says, but if something is meant to heal, it will stay. We have to trust the process, that maybe there's no reaction in the moment when there's a conversation being had or there's an emotion going on between both. But we have to trust that because we are divine counterparts, because they're sharing that same energy source, they're sharing that same frequency, they're in the same space, that whatever is said is going to hit home at some point. It's going to get in the heart. It's going to heal. But we have to kind of plant the seed, open the topic for discussion, open the heart space, and allow this to be processed. So Spirit is saying, give that grace. No, just because we don't get a reaction right away from one another doesn't mean that it doesn't make its point, or that it doesn't get in the heart space, or it isn't something that isn't being considered. We don't always have to rely on an emotional response from someone to know that something we've said or something we've shared didn't make a difference in some way. Allow them that space to think about it, to contemplate, and know that no matter what, the journey is worth it. As sometimes it's scary, or as it seems surreal as it is, that the love, it reaches far, and it inspires others. The love from that space inspires others. So that is the message that I got today for the divine counterparts. I hope this message finds all well, and it's an encouragement that sometimes it's not always the bright moment. Sometimes we're emotionally charged, and we're going through the emotions of things, and Spirit is saying, slow down, allow the energy to transmute, and trust that when we're communicating, even if it doesn't seem like it's the right moment, it's not being received the way that we're hoping, if this is your divine counterpart, they will understand when the time is right and when they're able to contemplate and process. Much love, everyone.